Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we are living in the age of a new piece of technology that is going to take over the world, Terminator style. Have you guys heard of this thing called AI? I don't know. It's something that's been floating around the last couple years and the last 2 decades, but it is something that has especially been influencing our culture the last 2, 3 years since the technology has gotten really crazy and really good. And the whole thing about this video is there's been fake Transformers leaks going around that have been AI the whole year, basically. There was one that was being peddled about the next live action movie that it would be a sequel to Last Night, and Megan Fox and Shia LaBeouf were coming back. And there are a bunch of people just using AI images and drumming up fake stories and fake rumors. This was in like April or May or something. And then now, the last week or so, we've been getting fake figure leaks that are AI. There was this one I covered a couple days ago here on the channel. There was the Age of the Prime's Voyager class swindle that quote-unquote leaked, and it was fake. You know, if you zoom in on the picture, you look at the details, you really look at the picture, at first glance, it looks real, which is kind of crazy. I mean, if AI can do that now, imagine what it's going to do a year from now even, or even 6 months from now, you know? But you look at the picture close up, and there's a lot of details that just don't match up. Either it's a completely AI-generated picture, or it was a real picture and they used AI to kind of spruce it up to make it look like a proposed Age of the Prime's Voyager class swindle, however that could look. But obviously that's fake. But if the actual figure looks anything close to that fake image, that's going to be a banger of a G1 swindle release. That's going to be a pretty cool figure, which I'm assuming it will be considering their recent push for cartoon accuracy. Whether you guys like Sunbow cartoon accuracy or not, that's what they've been pushing the last 4 or 5 years since the SS86 line. So I'm assuming they're going to go with that and, just embellish a tiny bit because, it's a figure and it's the Generations line. They always do that. But that swindle image is fake. I'm not going to show these images because, I don't know, it seems like YouTube is kind of fiddly with AI. I know people do AI thumbnails and stuff. I just want to avoid that as much as possible here on the channel and showing fake AI images and stuff like that because you just never know these days. But there's also this other supposedly leaked image of an upcoming Age of the Prime's figure. Leader class Liege Maximo, we know, is coming out at some point in 2026. I can't remember what wave. I think he's wave 1 or wave 2 possibly, but there's an image floating around that some people think is real. It was showing up in my Discord a few days ago, I saw, and no, guys, that is fake. It even has a watermark on the picture that it's AI generated or whatever it says. And if you just look at the image, you look at the details, the whole thing just looks off. Like, especially for a leader class, that thing looks like some AI-generated deluxe class figure from, like, the Prime Wars trilogy. That is definitely not a $60 looking leader class figure, especially if you compare it to, like, Onyx Prime or The Fallen, So, I mean, if you just look at the image, you have some common sense to you, you're going to realize that this is AI generated, and especially since it has a freaking watermark on it that says it's AI. And especially with that swindle one, going back to that, the watermark says Goonmaster 6769. I mean, if that was a real leak, well, that's not that much of a reason. I mean, there's been leaked images over the years that have some worse things written on them as watermarks, to say the least. Some pretty vulgar and sometimes racist things. But if it has crappy stuff like that written all over it, especially when it says AI generated in the watermark, it's more than likely fake, especially in today's day and age. But it really begs the question, how is this going to affect Transformers content, the Transformers fandom, leak culture, rumor culture, and even news culture going forward with not even just the Transformers franchise, but everything as a whole in pop culture. When it comes to sports, Star Wars, Marvel, DC, music, the list goes on. How is this going to affect society going forward? And just look at how these two leaked images have been affecting the Transformers community the last few days to about a week, maybe. I don't know. It's been a few days. It's really confused a lot of people. It's divided some people. There's been arguments caused over whether these images are real or not. People are debating on this stuff on Twitter and TFW and stuff. I mean, there's really not much to argue and debate over, but, you know, that's just how people are nowadays in 2025. If you just look at the image, you'll tell that there's a lot of stuff that don't match up with these two pictures, but that's just how people are, I guess. It's really caused a bit of a dent in interactions with the people who are Transformers fans online the last few days because of these leaks. It's kind of strange to see because, you know, you still get people claiming that these images are real because of this and that, and then you get people obviously dispelling this with claims and reasonings that make way more sense and are a lot more logical than what some people think when they see these images and they swear up and down it's real when it clearly isn't. It's just really odd. Like, this is probably going to continue, and as AI gets better, it's probably going to get harder to tell what is and what isn't a fake image or a fake leak of a figure, which is kind of scary to say the least. I don't know. I mean, if I'm, you know, I'm a news channel, I cover news, rumors, leaks, and, you know, topical videos, original content at times, and it has me thinking, like, what if I do a video someday when AI gets better, whether that's 6 months from now or a couple years from now, whatever, and it's a leaked image of a figure supposedly, but then it comes out somehow later on down the line, maybe later that day after I drop the video or a few days later, that, oh, this is an AI-generated image. It's not a real figure that's actually releasing. That would be kind of crazy, and then I would have to waste time deleting that video, and it would just be a big waste of time even doing the video in the first place. It has me thinking, like, could that happen? And it definitely could. It almost happened with the I'm not gonna lie, with the Liege Maximo picture, until I saw on the watermark it said AI generated or something like that, which obviously I'm not gonna do a video on it. But I don't know, guys. It's really something to think about, especially as AI takes over society more and more in pop culture. Just be vigilant for these fake figure leaks. It seems like it's something that might start ramping up soon if it already hasn't, especially in these private Discord groups or Discord groups in general, whatever you want to call them, you know, where there's leakers and supposed leakers and fake ones out there. You just never know with people nowadays. So I just say be cautious on the pictures you get from Discord and the stuff you share online, claiming it's real when it possibly is just AI at this point. But not to say that a lot of the stuff is AI. I'm just saying you never know, especially since a lot of people in the community have been fooled the last couple days over two images of Liege Maximo and Swindle, when you could just look at them and tell they're AI or fake images, or maybe even Photoshop. I'm not entirely sure if they're both AI, but, you know, it's safe to assume it is in today's standards. But yeah, guys, that's pretty much all I want to talk about in this video. I think this is going to continue, and it's going to get a lot more tricky to tell what's real or not, unless if the people who make this stuff come out and say, yeah, this is a fake image I did just to rage bait and clickbait people, you know. But yeah, let me know down in the comments below. How do y'all feel about fake image leaks in Transformers the last few days with these AI images of Swindle and Liege Maximo? And yeah, guys, thank you for watching this video. Catch y'all in the next one. Bye.